Hello and welcome to the International Daily Roundup by People's Dispatch, where we bring you some of the leading news developments of the day. Our first story is from Iran, where a clear indication of the US pressure on the country, or the failure of US pressure on the country, was given by its Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei today, when he categorically denied any possibility of direct talks with the Trump administration. Today's statement came amid US allegations of a possible Iranian involvement in last week's drone attacks on Saudi Aramco facilities in Abqaiq and Khurais, leading to the disruption of oil production at the world's largest processing facility and halving US Saudi oil exports. Khamenei said that the US policy of maximum pressure is not worth a penny to the Iranian nation. He emphasized that there is a consensus against any direct talks with the US in Iran. There have been some contradictory statements from the Trump administration in recent times on the nature of talks with Iran. Last week, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had hinted about an unconditional talks on the sidelines of the upcoming UN meeting in New York. However, Trump has denied any such possibility. Underlining the fact, Khamenei termed the proposal of talks a deceptive move or a result of chaos in their policy. He also reiterated the Iranian stance of a possibility of multilateral talks with all the signatories of the 2015 Iranian nuclear deal. But this would happen only if the US declares its adherence to the deal and withdraws all sanctions imposed last year. The UK's International Trade Secretary, Liz Truss, has issued an apology to the Court of Appeal in the country for twice breaching its order passed in June this year to ban arms sales to Saudi Arabia. Liz Truss admitted that the UK had issued two licenses worth US $54,000 for radio spare parts and an air cooler for the Royal Saudi Land Forces. Her predecessor, Liam Fox, had given an undertaking in court that such licenses would not be issued in the future. Though given the size of the international arms trade, the amount looks insignificant, the fact that these licenses were issued in violation of the court order and also in violation of the UK arms export policy makes this a significant issue. Liz Truss was forced to issue an apology after the Campaign Against Arms Trade, CAAT, highlighted the possible breaches in the court. CAAT is a London-based organization fighting against the UK government for its violations of the country's arms export policy. According to this policy, no licenses should be issued if there is a risk of violation of international humanitarian law. Earlier this month, citing an Oxfam report, The Guardian had reported how the UK government was pursuing a dual policy in Yemen. According to the report, the UK tries to present the image of itself being a human rights defender and providing humanitarian aid on the one hand, but also does not shy away from earning profits from selling arms to Saudi Arabia and its coalition partners on the other hand. Saudi Arabia and its partners are responsible for a huge humanitarian crisis in Yemen. On September 14th, Mexican judge Samuel Ventura ordered the release of 24 municipal police officers involved in the disappearance of 43 students of the normal rural school of Ayotzinapa. Previously, Ventura had also ordered the release of 53 other officials arrested in the Ayotzinapa case. Of the 142 accused, in total, 77 have been released and only 65 remain in prison. Alejandro Encinas, the Undersecretary of Human Rights, condemned the court's decision and called the release of the accused an affront to the victims and parents. He said the decision shows the misery of the justice system in the country. Following pressure from the family members of the victims, who have been criticizing the investigation from the very beginning, the Attorney General's office in Ayotzinapa announced that it would investigate all the public officials who, under the previous government, were negligent in handling the investigation. The response of the Attorney General's office also came after a complaint by the current president, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, against the release from prison of one of the main suspects behind the disappearances. 5 years ago, on September 26, 2014, students from the normal rural school, known for its leftist activism, commandeered buses to travel to Mexico City for a protest. On their way, they were attacked in the city of Iguala by law enforcement officials who shot at the buses and detained the 43 students who were never seen again. However, the government claimed that the local police had handed over the 43 students to a group of drug trafficking assassins who supposedly killed them, incinerated the bodies, and disposed of the remains in a nearby river. Later during the investigation, members of the cartel confessed to the crime, and the state admitted that the local police had collaborated with the cartel in the disappearance of the students. That's all we have for this episode of the International Daily Roundup. To read more about these stories, visit our site peoplesdispatch.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for watching.